Angie and I sat down, we had a name. We had a table full of paper where we designed all our programs, all the things we were going to do and how we envisioned things developing. And of course, none of that happened. What happens is that I think God speaks in silence. You get engaged in an activity and at some point you hear a little voice saying somebody should do something about that. And that's when you realize that you're talking to yourself. And so time after time, we would take these ambassadors and we would send them out to schools with the idea of inspiring their peers, engaging them in some service project. And they did that, did it beautifully, but they would come back to us and say, while I was there, I learned that this school had this problem. You know, they had an issue on their heart that they brought back to us. And so the question becomes, what do you do about that?
So that's really sort of the birth of this. It was around building community, engaging others in making their communities a much better place. And so the Heart of America really, I think, has evolved over the years, but the common thread is service and community. The how you do something, I think, is as important as the what. To really, you've seen it when volunteers come onto a school campus and they see the faces of the kids, they light up and you know that they're changed forever. So, those are just numbers, and you think about the kids that have been impacted, but you got to think about the people that were able to serve and how they were impacted, as well. Sort of that ripple effect. You hope that they continue to do more and more, creating critical mass, not only around the schools and the communities in need, but hopefully those people that volunteered, that ripple effect kept going. And so I think this program really gave them the message that people cared about them. They were loved, they were valued. And just to see their faces, when they walk into the school and they see this brand new, beautiful library and new books, and it just tells them they're important. And I remember one, just to illustrate the need, when we did a redesign project in conjunction with the NFL around the Super Bowl. It was, I believe, in Dallas, and it snowed. We're talking a blizzard in Dallas, and so, nobody could come out. The volunteers couldn't come out. It was just impossible. And I remember there were three of us, some staff members. We drove on roads we couldn't see because they didn't have plows, and we knew that those families in that neighborhood were gonna want food. They were told they would have food. So we went to the grocery store and we bought everything we possibly could and put together bags. I think we had maybe like 150 bags we put together. Like, there were three of us. And we put everything out there, and right at, where the front entrance of the school was, within hours they were gone. These families came out of the woodwork just to get that food. So there's a great need there. I think doing good work and good company is what it's all about. We have our secret sauce of engaging, volunteers, but I think it's picking the right partners, the partners that have the same values that you have, the partners. Corporations can have a bigger impact on communities than oftentimes politics, and we're learning about that now, but they have a huge influence. You think about Target in general, their stores are everywhere, and engaging those volunteers to help the communities where they live and work, that's tremendous. And so I would say to Heart of America, they're doing great work now, and they continue to do that, but I think continue to engage those partners, show them how they can impact their communities, how they can do well by doing good.
And by making the statement that, we're doing this together, that you're part of the solution, I think in many ways empowers them and liberates them, but it also helps if they know how committed you are. And much of that goes to leadership. One of my happier memories when we first began this whole process was watching my wife. We would go to the shopping mall on the way into town to go to the back of the stores, the dumpsters.
Do you have to tell this story?
We're
So I
look-
did dumpster diving for boxes in a
we're-
suit
We're looking for boxes, you know,
for the books.
for books. And, you know, my wife is not just fishing boxes out of the dumpster. She is in the dumpster in a St. John's suit, and she's pulling out boxes and throwing it. And, you know, who does that? But, you know, it's a level of commitment. It talks to the heart of America. And I see the same thing going on now. You know, I love the outreach that I see from HOA, and particularly in the Native American populations, and how important I think that is. And it's all about what are we doing together. It's not us and them. It's not a different class. It's not a different race. And frankly, I think it's probably never more needed than it is now. There are so many divides. There's so many places where we've chosen to put ourselves in opposition to each other. You know, I love the fact that after every project, as we're closing up, after the ribbon has been cut, you walk back and you look at it, you can say, look what we have done. You know, I love and carry to this day the happy memory of every project that I was on. At some point, some child came up to me, hugged me, and said, this has been the best day of my life. That's a divine thunderbolt. You know, that pays the rent and makes it all worthwhile.
And Heart of America has the wonderful opportunity to be able to be that unifier, to bring people across dividing lines into one focus, one mission, and that's to create opportunities for our children to make a better America, you know, for them. And I think we're needed more than ever now. I really, really do.
You know, it's too easy to find things to divide us. You know, it's too easy to find some way to turn your back and walk away. But once you get engaged in helping, and once you realize that the people you're helping are not much different, if any different at all than you are, then that's when healing begins. That's where compassion kicks in. You know, that's when the heart responds. I mean, the organization is values driven, and you're looking for people that, you know, have the head and the heart. It has to be that combination. One without the other doesn't work. And the recruitment process is an ongoing effort to look for people who have those characteristics, and people that you think will complement the folks that are already there and can work with them. When we started the organization, we were rich in relationships. I think that wealth has only grown through the years. You know, the more people that you invite in, the more people that pick up a piece of the burden and carrying it, the more friends and family you have in the battle, the more gratifying it is. And whenever you see that, you know you found a friend.